I'm Jenny for those folks that are new, but I'm hoping and assuming that many of you are familiar and regular faces. So, well, I can see you anyway. So what we're going to do this morning, as we have been doing for the last wee while on a Thursday morning, is do about 45 minutes-ish of Pilates exercises. Remember, as I always say, this is aimed at people that have got a knowledge and some previous experience of doing Pilates exercises, so please bear that in mind, and I'm going to assume that as we go. If you are a complete beginner, then feel free to have a go at your own risk and be sensible as you go through the exercises. Please, if you've got any medical reason or just not feeling quite right today, then just be sensible through the exercises we go through, and don't do anything which is not suitable or appropriate for you today. Right, preamble and forewarning over. Let us begin. Just please do everything at your own pace and your own rate, and just skip out anything which does not feel right for you. Okay, we've got about 40 odd minutes of work to get through, so let's begin by putting ourselves in good posture and good alignment. So take your feet roughly hip width apart and just spread your body weight through so that your balls and the heels of your feet are nice and evenly taking the weight of you. Then just check that your kind of second toe and then your knees and your hips are all roughly in line, and that you are holding that feet and shoulder and hip width apart from your toes through to your hips. Then just move your hips and pelvis to find your neutral position. So most of you will be familiar with this by now. So just find that position where the tailbone is pointing down the way and your hip bones here are facing straight forwards. Then holding that neutral position through your hips, let's focus on our upper body. So bring yourself a little bit taller and straighter. Try and lengthen from your feet all the way through to the crown of your head. As you do that though, try and keep your shoulders down and imagine someone's lifting you from the very top of your head, or you've got those two helium balloons on both of your ears, and you're lifting and growing nice and tall and strong. Hold that neutral position through your pelvis as we start to switch on those abdominal and core muscles. So imagine you've got an old-fashioned corset around your center. Lace that up and tighten that, but only to about 30%, remember, of maximum. So gently tighten around your middle, gently draw your navel towards your spine, but not so hard you can't breathe, just about 3 out of 10, or a gentle pull in of your tummy towards your back and a lift on your pelvic floor, if you can do all those things whilst keeping those shoulders down and breathing. Keep the knees soft so your legs aren't locked out. Hold that neutral position, keep that tummy drawn in, and take a few slow, deep and wide breaths here. So the breathing should be lateral in Pilates, which means primarily sideways. So we tend to take shallow up and down breaths here most of the time when we don't think about it. So let's use our lungs fully and let your ribs open and expand to the side as you breathe in and out, and as you maintain that length and lift all the way through from your feet to the top of your head. Take one more deep breath here, but keep breathing as you roll onto the balls of your feet and then just back down onto your heels. So just rock up and down, just lifting up. Just don't go too high just to begin, just working a little bit of mobility into our ankles and our feet as you come up and back down. Maintain that strong position through your pelvis and core, so keep everything really strong and steady here as you rock through your ankles and your feet. Go one more time after this for me. And rest there. Then just come into a mini squat. Don't go too deep just yet. Just pushing your bottom back slightly just bending your knees just a touch, go really kind of mini or quarter squat, should we call this, not even quite a half. So send those knees forwards over your toes so that your knees track in line and your bottom sits back and your chest remains open. Last couple. Good, make the next one your last one for now. And then stand up and hold. Good. From here, just reach down to one side and then over in the opposite direction. So keep those hips in the center. Don't let your hips kick out as you move side to side. So just stretching. Again, don't force it. We're just getting going. So nice and smooth and steady movement, left and right, side to side. And so give me one more each side from here. So one more left and then one more right. Come back to the middle, bring your shoulders down and then rise and shrug them up and then bring them back down. Sorry, slamming doors. Shrug the shoulders up and bring them down. Keep squeezing that belly button in towards your back. Up you come and down you go. We'll do two more. Shrug and let go. Final one. Up and down. Good. Let your arms float up and then turn and push them back down gently. So let the arms rise and then press. So just nice and smooth lift and then lower. Keep going. Good, just moving a little bit more through your shoulders and your arms. And we've got one more after this. And we're then going to go to the side. So same movement, but arms out to the side of you. And then press. We're only going to do a couple more here. So your next one's your last one. Good. Take your chin down towards your chest. Look up carefully. Don't tilt your head back, but just look up towards the ceiling and back down. Turn, look over your shoulder. And then around the other way. And one more time, turn and look over to one side. Keep those hips steady as you turn and look to the other side. Good. Bring your hands up to your chest, so thumbs towards your breastbone, fingertips together. Keep your hips facing forwards, and we're going to twist to one side. So feet and knees and hips stay towards the front of the room, and you rotate around nice and slowly, one way then the other. The movement is fairly small, as we're only isolating this upper part of our back and our pelvis is staying square to the front of the room or to your TV screen or your iPad or your phone, whatever you've got. One more time. Good, small rotation and small twist. Good, come back to the middle. Okay, we're going to go back down to our feet and this time we're going to pedal through our feet. And those that are a little bit stronger, I want you to move up and down like so, but I want you to try and keep your hips really level. So I'm going to move my knees back and forth, and I'm coming up and down on my heels, but my hips are staying still. So I'm not bobbing and moving side to side. My feet are lifting, but my hips and your hips are staying really steady. That's just my toes crunching, don't worry about that. Last couple, a little bit harder work through your calves, and having to squeeze your tummy in to hold everything really steady through your pelvis. Last couple. Okay, rest there. We're going to go back into our squat, but sit a little bit deeper this time. So take your time as you sit back and try and sink a little bit lower than we did when we did this a few moments ago. So push your bottom back behind you. Let your knees track over your toes. Keep your chest open and your eyes looking forward so your neck also remains in neutral as you sink and then rise. Let's add a balance onto the balls of our feet as we come up this time. So lift and balance, and then heels come down, bottom sits down, and you come up and balance. Squeeze that core in and keep the shoulders down as you hold that balance on the balls of your feet. Lift and hold. Sink down a wee bit deeper, good. As you sit back, remember, keep that belt tight around your middle so that your back is staying strong and in neutral as you move. How are we doing? You got one more for me? Sink. And balance. You're going to stay here? Good. Stay lifted. Keep that tummy in. Hold the balance. Now come down. We're again going to reach to the side, but try and go a little bit lower down this time. So take the stretch a little bit further. Reach your fingertips down the side of you. One side, then the other. Left and right. So try and bring the hand down towards the knee if you can, about that level. And you've got one more time each side. Good, last one on this side. Good stuff. And back to the middle. This time, we're going to bring the hands in front, but we're going to also balance on the balls of our feet. So bring your arms up and hold. Maintain the arms up in front. Now stay on your toes. Bring the arms back down and up. And now come down with the heels as well. We'll repeat that. So you come up and balance. Hold on the balls of your feet. Bring the hands down. Bring the hands up. And now come down with the heels. Sorry. Shall I do that again without making a mistake? Lift up. Hold those heels up. Bring the hands down. A little bit tougher. Bring the hands up. And now bring everything down. I wasn't much better, was I? Shall I try and do it one more time? Join me and try and do it better than I can. Lift up and hold. Now stay up on the balls of the feet. Bring the hands down. This is quite hard. I'm just making it look harder than it is really. Cool. Down you come. We're going to balance on one leg with the opposite arm coming up. Now hold that balance. Keep this knee lifted and knee and foot tracking in line. Tummy drawn in, shoulders relaxed. Hold this balance. Stay nice and strong and steady. Keep that tummy squeezed in. Keep the hips nice and steady. And now bring everything down. Same on the other side. Get your balance on the opposite leg. Bring the knee up and the opposite arm rise. And hold. So steady with the knee. Thigh roughly horizontal to the floor. And your shin roughly vertical. And just hold this balance with your shoulders relaxed and your chest open. And your hand steadying you there. Down you come. Same again on each side. So lift and balance. Hold nice and tall and strong. Supporting leg working hard. Other knee lifted. Opposite hand helping you balance. Stay nice and tall. Keep that tummy drawn in. Hold here for a moment longer. And now bring everything down. Same on the other side. Get your balance. Stand nice and tall. Lift and hold. Talking, concentrating, balancing. Clearly I can't manage all those things in one go. Hold here. Keep that chest open. Maintain that lift and length. Hold that balance. And now come down nice and slow. Okay, come back to your upper body. We're going to bring our arms up and we're going to twist up here with our arms out wide. It's a little bit tougher because you've not got as much control over your hips. So just do as best you can. Feet back to hip width apart. Stand nice and tall. Arms out wide. Now we're going to rotate. Keep the arms reaching out and try and keep your hips facing forward. Don't let your hips turn. Good. And come back round. Release the shoulders and twist. I hope that's about right. And one more time each side. Relax the shoulders and turn. Good. Get a bit of a stretch through your upper back as well. Maybe that's just me because I'm a bit stiff. And one more time the other way. Good. And back you come. Your arms feeling quite heavy. And down you come. Okay, last couple of things. Just move your neck side to side. And then down and back up. And we're good. Give the shoulders a little roll round. And then the opposite direction. Just a bit of mobility through our shoulders. Good. And then bring your hands onto your shoulders and roll around one way, and then roll round the opposite direction. Cool. Okay, head to one end of your mat, doesn't really matter which, and then come with me and you'll roll down. So we're not going to walk out just yet, we are just going to roll down and come back up. If a full roll down is not good for you, for your back, anything like that, then just do a modified version or a reduced range of movement. So feet hip width apart, squeeze your tummy in, let your chin come down in front, let your arms hang down ahead of you. Oh, and the first one always feels a bit stiff, doesn't it? No, it's just me. And then roll yourself back up to standing. Release the shoulders at the top, take a breath, and we do that again. So your chin comes gently down. Your arms hang down in front.
Let the backs of your hands come down towards the mat. Let your head and neck release. Your knees remain soft, and then roll yourself back up to standing. Open at the top, and we go again. Let everything roll and fold forwards. Hands come down in front. Just take a bit of a stretch and hang out here for a moment. Bend your knees a lot, and then straighten the legs. Feel the stretch through the back of the hamstring as you lengthen the legs. Do that again. Bend the knees and sink. Push your hips high and stretch. Okay, soften the knees again as you roll and fold yourself back up. As you stand, bring the hands into the small of your back. Look up and behind you, and then we'll do one more time. Roll and fold forwards. Hands come down in front. Let your head and neck release. Bend your knees. Straighten your legs. Stretch through your back of your legs and your hamstrings. Hold that stretch. Hold that forward fold. Gently bend your knees a little bit more as you rise back up. Bring your shoulders down, hands into the small of your back. Look up and just as far as feels comfortable, and then come back to normal. We are going to walk out this time, so again, just be a little bit sensible. If this is too much and the up and down is too much, just stay down. Don't do the coming back and forth movement. So, chin towards chest, arms just hang down in front. And then as your hands come down, walk onto your knees and travel forwards into your prone bridge or your plank on your knees. Hands beneath shoulders, knees back from your hips. Squeeze your tummy in towards your back, then tuck those toes under, walk your hands back in, and slowly come back up to standing. Those that find that too much, just stay there. We'll rejoin you in a moment. Drop your chin towards your chest. Let everything fold forwards. Come onto your knees again. Those that were down here, then just come in and rejoin us in this prone bridge position. Hands beneath shoulders, knees back from your hips. Tuck your toes under. Squeeze your belly button towards your spine. Straighten out through the legs and lift up into that full prone bridge or plank position. Hold here for a moment longer. And now come back to your knees. Walk your hands back in towards you. Stay down if you need to, but those that can, rise back up and fold yourself and roll yourself back up to that standing position. We're going to come down, not on our knees this time, if that's okay for you. If you'd rather stick with your knees coming onto the floor, then that's fine as well. Drop your chin towards your chest. Soften the knees slightly as you roll and fold down. Walk your hands out towards the other end of your mat. Use your knees if you need, but stay on your toes if you're able. Come into that full prone bridge. Feet are roughly shoulder width apart. Hands are a little bit wider than your shoulders, but beneath your shoulders. Your fingers are spread, so your hands are supporting you. Eyes are looking down and just slightly ahead of the top of your mat. Release through the shoulders, squeeze that tummy in towards your back. Come down to your knees, walk back in and up one more time. So roll yourself back up, let your head and neck come up last. Whew. Everyone a bit warmer, just me? Okay, one more time. Drop your chin, roll yourself down, let your head and neck release. Then use your knees if you need, but those that can, walk out, but leave your feet on the ground. So hands beneath shoulders, legs extended behind you. Just try and go long from the back of your neck, through your shoulders, release between your shoulder blades. Squeeze that tummy in towards your back. Hold this prone bridge. Hit up on the backs of the knees. Squeeze that tummy in towards your back. Breathe as normally as you can. Hold here for a moment longer. We will rest in just a second or two. Carefully bring your knees down. Feet come together, knees move apart. Push your bottom back and stretch in child's pose. So let your head just relax down. I'm just moving my arms so I can see. So push your bottom back, let your head relax. I'm only lifting my head because you can't hear me if I talk into the mat. Okay, we're going to do a couple more plank variations today, just because you can. So we're going to come back into that prone bridge. So we're going to move into that position in a moment. If this is too much on your feet, then please do these plank options on your knees and just have a rest as you need to. So walk the hands out in front. Hands just again slightly wider than your shoulders, and shift your body weight forwards so that your hands are nice and supporting you and your knees are back behind you. Tuck those toes under. Now straighten out through the legs and rise up into that prone bridge. Now we're going to try and do a little walk. So we're going to tap our foot to the side and back in. So we're going to walk and tap the leg out wide and bring the foot back to the centre. So tap and come back in. Try and keep your body nice and still as you move your foot out and back in. If that's too much, you can do it on your knees and extend one leg at a time. Give me one more each side if you're able. Keep that tummy lifted, keep the back nice and steady. Hold in the middle now, so feet and hands are still, long through the back of the neck. Hold that tummy lifted and come back down to your knees and stretch. Back in child's pose. Okay. We're going to come down onto our elbows and our forearms this time, rather than our hands. So just slightly different position and work. So again, just come and join me out here. Use your knees, remember, as your option. So down on your forearms. Try and have your elbows and hands roughly parallel. So on your elbows, arms extended out. Tuck your toes underneath, long through the back of the neck. Squeeze your belly button in towards your back and lift up and hold. So release between those shoulders. Just try and hold in that strong and straight position. And now come back down. Untuck your toes. Retuck your toes. Straighten out through the legs, lift and hold. We're going to repeat this a couple times. Come back to your knees. Give your toes a break. Lift them back under. Straighten out through the legs and rise. Good, hold and balance. Knees down. Toes flat. Toes tucked under. Lift and hold. Good, knees back down. One more time through. Feet flat. Toes tucked under. Straighten out through the legs and hold. Squeeze that belly button in towards your back. Try and stay here for a few more seconds if you can. Keep those eyes looking ahead of your hands, so your neck remains in neutral. Keep that belly button lifted up and in. And now sit back and take a stretch. Okay. We're going to have a rest for a moment while I tell you and show you what we're going to do next. We're going to do a couple of exercises on all fours, so on our hands and knees. I'll show you from the front and the side. So on all fours, we're going to go straight into your kind of bird dog or opposite arm and leg. So out and in, out and in. So from the front, so opposite arm and leg, move in and out. All right? Okay, so just move yourself back into that all fours position. So on your hands and your knees. Hands beneath your shoulders and slightly wider as before. Long through the back of your neck. Try and make sure your knees are beneath your hips. You can't see, I appreciate it's a little bit difficult to get quite the right position. So long through the back of your neck. Belly button drawn in towards your spine. Opposite arm and leg move out and back down. And just alternate sides. So one arm and the opposite leg, moving back and forth, trying to keep those hips nice and still as you move arms and legs out and in. So just move at your own pace, hold the extension and the balance just for a moment, and then bring it back under. So out and back in. Okay, so hold. One more time each side. So reach and back in. One more time this side. Out and back in. give your wrists a bit of a recovery moment while I show you what we're going to do next. So we're going to reach one arm and the opposite leg out and away. You're going to keep the arm extended and bring the knee in and move the knee back and forth. I'll show you on this side, a bit easier. So out and then in and away and in and away. Okay? We're going to do maybe 2 or 3 in and outs with the knee before we swap sides. I'll let you kind of play around with that one a little bit. So one arm and the opposite leg out and hold. Leave the fingertips reaching out and bring the knee back and forth. So bring the knee under, push the foot back. One more time if you can. And back, and then everything in. Do the same on the other side. Now continue at your own pace and own rate. So out. Leave the hand extended and the knee and leg move back and forth. Do 2 or 3 in and outs. And then put everything down and reset and repeat on the other side. So open and hold. The leg moves nice and smoothly back and forth. Hold everything nice and strong and steady. It's a little bit more challenging as we move one arm and not the other. So it just requires your brain to be involved a little bit more, which is a potential problem. Last one and back in. Last one each side, guys. So out and in and away and in and away. And just finish the little sequence you're on. So just do the other side. Again, just move at your own pace and just do your number of repetitions you've been working on. And when you have finished, just give them a little stretch off. So push the middle of your back up towards the ceiling and arch through. So if you're just finishing the sequence, that's fine. Just come and join in with this cow stretch as and when you're ready. Last couple. Okay, give your wrists just a chance to recover and rest while again I show you what we're going to do next. So this time the leg is going to move back and we're going to go to the side and to the middle and to the side and the middle. Show you from the front as well. So from here you're going to push the leg back, you're going to go out and in and out and in. Now I've got to try and keep those hips as level as you can as we do that, and do 2 or 3 out and in on one side, and then just repeat and do likewise on the other side. So come out onto your hands and knees as normal, then push the leg back and take it to the side and move that leg in and out 2 or 3 times, and then bring the knee under and repeat that sideways movement on the other leg. So left and right, in and out. And as I said before, just do a couple, 2 or 3 on each side, and then just rest. Now then, those of you a little bit stronger and more balanced, you can float the other hand. So you can lift this one up, so as my right leg's moving, my left hand can float off the floor, and try and wobble as little as you can as you move the leg, and the hand just stays balanced. So you're only on one hand, on one knee, as the leg's moving side to side. Well, that wasn't a very good one, sorry. So out and move and move and move and move. Okay, just try and do one more set on each side. So just work so that you're even. Rest. Last set for me on this side. Okay, and again just sit back and just give your wrists a bit of chance to recover. Just give you a moment or two just so that you can finish up the sequence you're on, just so that we're all roughly in the same place. Okay, sit yourself up nice and tall and just give me a couple of hinges back and forth. Nothing too difficult. Good. So keeping that tummy nice and strong, working these quads a little bit as we go back and forth. Just move the arms as well this time. Up as you go back and down. Last one. Cool. Bring the legs and feet underneath of you. And I seem to have left my mat. Stretch your legs out in front. So just get yourself set up so that your toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. Arms then reach up towards the sky and dive and fold forwards. Oh. Have you made your feet? Just your knees? Okay. Good. Up you come. So stiff. Reach up and fold. Oh, I can feel my left side's tighter than my right. Good. One more time. Reach up and fold and stretch. Let your head relax. If you're much more bendy than me, your head may well be much closer to your legs. And rest. Okay. Lean back onto your hands, and then I just want you to sit yourself up nice and tall, and I want you to lift one leg at a time. So use your hands as a little bit of a prop, a little bit of a support, and then point your toes and lift one leg up and down. Okay, then we're going to add an outwards and in. So a little semicircle arch to the left and to the right. Okay, now do that, but with your toes pointing up towards the sky. Good. So flex your ankles the other way, and you're moving back and forth. Now keep that going, but let go with your hands. So bring your hands in front or onto your thighs, wherever feels good for you. Maintain that lift through your back. Good. How are we doing? We fine? One more on this leg. Okay, bend your knees in. I'll do this one. Oh no, I'll stay for this way, it's fine. So curl the tailbone under and just roll back and lift up. Nice and easy, don't go too far just yet. So curl that tailbone under and roll back and lift up again. Keep those shoulders chilled out as you just move back and forth, down and back up again. Keep the feet and knees roughly hip width apart as you move back and forth, nice and controlled, and then gradually start to go a little bit further back. So just as you start to move into this, and as you get a feel for how far back you can go, just try and increase the distance you travel back just a touch. Your abdominals are still working hard, your hip flexors are assisting, not primarily working. Easier said than done, right? Keep that neck relaxed and just an even comfortable distance between your chin and your chest. Try not to let your neck and head move too much. Can you give me one more and go a little bit further this time, maybe? Back you go. And lift up. Take a rest for a moment. This time we're going to go back and we're going to bring the knees in as the hands come in. Knees in as hands come in. So one knee and then the hands and elbows come in. Right. You with this one? Okay, right, where are we at? So knees out, legs extended, and then as you come up, the hands come in and the elbows bend. So out and in. Everything out and the arms extended. Bring your chest up as one knee comes in and back you go. So in and out, in and back out. So one leg and both hands, good. Got a couple more for me. Good. So we're going to do one more on the other side. Whew. We good? And come back up. So, all right? We're still with me? Okay, legs and feet shoulder or hip width apart again. We're going to hinge back this time, and we're going to touch down on one side, bring our hands back to the center, and touch your hand. This one's not going to make it, obviously. And back up, and then lift. So it's like a kind of slow and controlled Russian twist, but focus on your core and tell your hip flexors not to be so much involved. So curl that tailbone under, hinge back, hands just hovering above your knees. So your left hand's going to go down to the left side, this hand's going to hover and come back in. Right hand down to the right side and back in. You're still in this slightly declined position, hands to the side and back to the center. Can we do another one? Hands to the side and back to the center. Are you fine here for a moment longer? Now lift back up. Okay, one more set here. This time we're again going to go in that decline position, but this time we're going to reach one leg out and place the heel back down. Stretch the other leg out, place the heel back down. Okay? You're having a rest right now. We're going to do it together just now. So, set your feet up, knees are bent, curl that tailbone under, hinge back and hold. Just have your hands wherever feels comfy. Reach one leg out, place the heel back down. Reach the other leg out, place the heel back down. So extend and point that foot forward, the heel taps on the ground. You're still in this decline position through your upper body. So reach and back down, reach and back down. How are we feeling? We fine here for a little bit longer? I'll take that as a yes. Good. Keep going. Good, we're going to do one more on each side. So here's one on the left, whichever side you're doing, and then one on the other side, and back in. You fine? Lift back up. Okay. We're going to take a little stretch out. So just turn yourself if you need to, and then we're going to lie back down. So we're going to take a full body stretch just to stretch off our hip flexors. So legs extended, and reach your arms overhead. So reach and stretch from your fingertips to your toes, and then bring everything in and bend your knees back up. So feet flat on the floor, knees hip width apart, hands on the top of your thighs, and just roll and lift yourself up and back down. Doing kind of a mini roll up. So a few bits of me crunching. Oh, it's better we stop clicking now. Good. So lift up and slowly back down. Last couple. One more. Up you come and back down. Okay, similar idea, but we're going to work our obliques. We're going to lift your head and chest and upper part of your back and neck off the ground. Hands come towards your side. Reach towards one ankle and back to the center. Reach the other ankle and back to the center. So we'll go together now. Tuck your chin in, lift your neck and shoulders off the mat. Arms reaching by your side, kind of under your knees. And then reach to one ankle or calf, back to the middle. Reach the other ankle or calf and back to the middle. So down one side and recenter. Down the other side and recenter. If your neck gets a bit heavy, you can have a rest. If your neck gets heavy, if your head gets heavy. I mean, your neck gets achy, your head's unlikely to get heavy. Good. Last one. Good. And back in and lie back down. Feet flat on the floor, legs bent, feet on the ground. Just reposition yourself into neutral. Again, most of you should know how to do this. So just move so your hip bones are facing up the way and that tailbone is on the ground. Retighten that belt, squeeze that tummy in and simply slide your right leg out and bring it back in. Slide your left leg out and bring it back in. Your back is holding neutral. Your tailbone is staying anchored on the ground. Your hip bones are facing up towards the ceiling. Really nice and simple heel slide. So nice stretch through your hip as well here, but lots of work in your core to keep your back in that neutral position as your legs are moving in and out. After the next one leg only, we're going to add the opposite arm. So I now move my right leg and my left arm. It's clearly the other side, Jenny. So one arm and the opposite leg. Don't worry about me if I say the wrong side. Just move an opposite arm and leg. So out and back in. Now, as you started to move the arm as well, just be really aware that your back is staying steady and your back isn't arching up or pushing down as the arms and legs are both moving back and forth. Give me a couple more on each side. So open and then close and then out and back in. You're going to do one more on this side and your next one on the other side will be your final one here. Good. Okay, Just take a little wriggle and a rest for a moment, and I'll show you and explain what we're up to next. We're going to bring our legs up into that tabletop position. So from neutral, one leg at a time, lift up into tabletop, knees are above hips, thighs are roughly vertical, shins are roughly horizontal, and then you want to extend and come back in. So join me when you're able, carefully move into neutral, then come into this tabletop, and then you start to move the legs back and forth, in and out. So you move out and come back in, hold that tailbone steady, hold your back in neutral, keep everything super still as you're moving your legs back and forth, just extending and bending back. You can vary the height of this leg extension to make it harder if you go lower and a wee bit easier if you go higher, or somewhere in the middle is probably good for most of us. So out and back in. How's your hip flexors? Achy? Okay, bring those hands up. Opposite arm and leg now. So one leg and the opposite arm. Leave the other arm and leg still is the challenging part. So leave one arm where it was as the other arm goes back. So open and then back in. So over and back. Out and come in. So one leg, opposite arm, and back you come. One leg and the opposite arm, and back you come. Last couple. Out and back in. Final one on this side. Out and back in. Bring your knees in towards your chest and give your back a little stretch off side to side or round about. Okay, stretch those legs up towards the ceiling and just take a stretch through the back of the legs. Lift yourself up if that feels comfy. And then one leg down, stretch it away, and the other leg up. Keep your head and chest lifted, and then swap it over. So nice and fluid movement. One leg up, other leg out. Your shoulders and head and neck are off the mat. So get a good stretch here through your legs, and also lots of work through your core to keep yourself lifted. Last couple. Good. And bring those knees in and down. Okay, into shoulder bridge. So feet flat on the floor, hips and knees and ankles all roughly hip and shoulder width apart, feet flat on the mat. So I want you to really think about curling that tailbone under, lift that lower part of your back off the mat, vertebra by vertebra, up into that top lifted bridge position, and then smoothly roll yourself back down. Okay, take your time as you rise. Try and keep everything nice and even. I was saying to someone earlier in the week, so this is a really good exercise to be really aware in, because if I concentrate and work hard, I can move up nice and evenly with both left and right side working the same. But if I don't concentrate, one side tends to overtake. So really concentrate on your feet and hips all coming up nice and smoothly and together, and then bring everything back down together. Because probably not as bad as me, but like me, you'll have one side stronger than the other. So one side will want to do a little bit more work and take over a little bit more. So I want you to really concentrate on keeping everything really even as you come up and down. So really focus. Well, that wasn't a good one. Really focus on trying to keep everything smooth and evenly balanced as you lift up and come back down. We're just going to do a couple more here, and then we're going to finish up the last couple of balances. Up you come, and nice and smooth back down through each vertebrae. This one is going to be your last and final one. So roll and lift up, and then take your time to come smoothly back down. Then draw your knees into your chest and just help have a little stretch off. Then you're going to carefully roll onto your side and come back round via your hands and knees to standing, and we'll finish up with our balances as always. So take your time to come back up to standing. We've been on the floor a little while. So feet hip width apart, stand nice and tall, squeeze that tummy in, you know this bit. So lift up and balance, and down you come. 2 more, lift up, hold that balance, and down you go. 1 last time, take your time, breathe, lift and hold, fingertips high, hold that balance, just, and down you come. Okay folks, thank you very much for joining me and working hard as you always do today. We are taking a wee break next week, but there's a bunch of these classes on the YouTube channel, so please go and revisit one from early doors that we've maybe forgotten about. And then we will be back with the live class, because we won't make you do it on the grass, 2 weeks today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.